taking me a little bit to start because I don't know. I think we had a thunderstorm here earlier or something. I was not home, and so my system went off. So got to work on it a little bit, yeah, to get it going. Good evening. We will be talking about two things here tonight. Folks, please turn in and please tune in and please share. Okay. Tonight I will be talking about two things, actually three. So let me chronicle a little bit, go back to a few things I want to highlight. Um, I want to ask the Liberian people, have we done the DNA test yet? With Brian McGill and a 14-year-old little girl. If we have not, we are calling on the leader, the leaders of Liberia. Liberia has three branches of government. Okay. We have the judiciary, who is responsible to interpret the law. We also have the legislature, who makes the law. Then we have the executive, who's supposed to enforce the law. Okay. We were told a month or so ago that they needed a DNA test. Okay. Although we have hundreds, okay, of Liberians who have went through the same path and gone to the same hospitals, referral hospital. Speaking of referral hospital, I'm going to stop a little bit. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to talk about referral hospital. ESJ, Jeremiah Kuhn Hospital, is not considered a referral hospital. Okay, but I'm going to stay right out there because I'm not going to go through that tonight. I don't want to be all over the place. So tonight, I want to talk about the Emirates hospital that were built during Riyadh's term. That place was built when those people were vying for the World Cup. It was to grease our pounds so we'll be able to stand with them, okay, in the process, allegedly. But that's okay, whichever way they build it. Now, when somebody like me asks the question, we are building all over the place. We're not building schools. We're not building infrastructure for the nation. We're not training people that will maintain the nation. We're building presidential villas in Lofa, in Nimba, and people are screaming it is development. Yeah. Yeah. Now, the question that begs an answer is, how do we plan that? How do we derive those ideas? What mechanism are we putting in place? Okay. Oh. For the next 3 or 4 generations to be able to maintain those structure that we're putting up. Okay. We know, I know, you know, from government to government, when they've done these things, they have no strategy as to how to maintain these things. They don't. They don't have anything put in place to maintain it. We see that. Taylor building, which he built when he was in government, I know the wife came for it. Everybody came for it. Children fighting over it. Bring Johnson built a college. I mean, that's a good investment. We don't know how it will be maintained. Talk about build a fortress. Now the sea is inside. And drug users are living in it. The other house that Taylor started building is still standing out there. And go on and on and on. We are not investing in the human capital. Education is the most expensive thing in Liberia. Education is for sale. Now, somebody wrote yesterday and said why they don't understand why graduation fees at government school in Liberia is so expensive. You're charging people $300. If all things being equal, the GDP, all things being equal, where everybody will get, if you divide the money in the country, will be around $700. Some Liberian people don't make $700. Giving the GDP per capita, if you look at the bulk of the money that is taken by the lawmakers, the judiciary, talking about like the Supreme Court, not the lower, maybe the lower people, and then the executive. Here, Lasso, you really, there's no money. 64% of the population live below the poverty line. No relief. This government came to relief, to rescue, relief, and refund. I don't see it. So majority of the time, what the leaders do is they use building roads, building buildings as a way of stealing from the people. Because if they say they spend $3 million for a $50,000 project, that's that. That's what they spend. Whoever build it, get a cut, they get a cut, they get a kickback. We just saw the issue with the one in Bone County where Musa built it. They say the bridges they were building over this amount. It was not even a third of the amount. This is how dishonest these people are. But tonight, I want to talk to you about adding your voice. This is the time, Liberian. This is the time for you to stand up, especially for the young people who got longer time on this earth than us. This is the time, that bill, okay? You know, I've been kind of done with Darius DeLong. But I'm kind of glad today that he came and Liberian people, whether you say DeLong is fronting or he's not fronting, the ball is not in your court. Just give me a second. I'm going to play this, okay? Then I'm going to come back to why I think all of this money that is being spent, because I started a conversation with, you know, I had some issue with my internet, and it just came back. We have to troubleshoot it to come on. The Emory Hospital that was just built, it looked deplorable, okay? But we are focused. I'm not going to talk about Weah's wife, Claire Weah. That's a story for a different day, okay? We know about $700,000 were put in the budget almost every year for her to do charity work. Okay, but I'm not going to talk about it tonight. I'm going to talk about this bill. Why it is important for the Liberian people. Listen, you give these people power. They cannot live better than you. You know, this is if you people stand up, Lasso, y'all the young people, if you stand up and this bill goes through, the lawmaker will also make it mandatory to bring the salary of the executive down. Then there's money for us to build our country. There's money for us to educate our children. There's money for hospital. There's money for our pregnant women. There's money, okay? We can't pay taxes. You can't take away all our resources. We don't have water to drink. The water is dirty. Our children are born with cancer, with all kind of growth, okay? But a few person take it. When they're sick, they're able to go to India. Okay, most of them don't even go India. They're able to come to the United States. They're able to go to England. They're able to fly if on a dime to Ghana, to Kenya. And then when they see that their issue is difficult, they fly them out. So let's see here. Let's see what Darius Delon is talking about here. Mind
Let's pass a law. When we set our salary, I am proposing 5,000 max, especially for lawmakers. If we pass that law and we live by it, 100 lawmakers from the Senate and the House will save the country $4 million US every year just by that courageous action. Every year. Then imagine if we cut our own salary for the country. That courage would not be difficult to find to cut the president's salary, to cut the vice president's salary.
Is that in this target?
We say public officials should not make anything more than 5,000. If we can get, and some people say, oh, don't mind that gentleman, he said, and this and that. Fine. Find majority lawmakers to fake like me. Let's agree to make 5,000 and see if the 4 million will save the country every year will be fake. It will put out 4 million in agriculture, in health, in education, or something tangible for the country. Let's see if the dividend will be fake. Call all your lawmakers to fake like me only once. Let pass that law. Let me 5,000. $4 million generated or realized just from the Senate and from the legislature. Subsequently, we can go to the judiciary, we can go to the executive, we can now sit down and determine SOEs, any public entity enacted by law, created, established by the legislature should be able to determine their salary, especially the higher echelon of this institution. You know how many persons in public service, in government and public entities make far more money than lawmakers? I'm not doing this to get even at people. I'm doing this as a pay settler. Pay settler that we, the leaders who have the authority and the power by law, let's start. You see, the legislature, the executive finished cooking the food for the country for 2026. The executive has cooked the food for the country for 2026. This food is the draft. The legislature and the whole board here are called one big bowl. The executive cooked the food, put it in one big bowl, and send it to our authority here that will bring all the other small bowl there and decide, okay, the other one you plenty, put it on the side. The other one you take this or put it the one. We the ones supposed to determine what get in each bowl. Then we give it back to the executive to go do the distribution. Then after that, then we must have the courage and the authority to say, we put 2 spoons in the other bowl. How can half spoon reach? That's our rule. But if we don't DJ food properly and we don't have the courage to ask why we put 5 spoons in a bowl, only 3 spoons reach, the bowl always go on accountable and understandable. You can't blame the people. So again, when people thought that bill was dead, it's resurrected. Today is all the sentiment and the emotion and the cross debate on the floor. It's coming back next week for determination. You are media people, but you are Liberians too. Each of you here, you have 2 senators and 1 representative. Once you are from a county, you have 2 senators. Once you are from a district, you have 1 representative. So each of you here have 3 lawmakers. Each of you. Speak to your lawmakers. Also ask them to, you the media people, when you call us on the radio, I mean lawmakers, ask them, they senator, they don't bill, what your position? What your position? How will you vote? Or will you support it? Will you put on the floor? For me, I'm not arguing Mr. Perfect or Clean Guy because I'm nowhere near that. But I cannot justify my high salary because people can come to my office to ask me for assistance. And in my view, I can't justify salary because people can go to my house or meet me in the street and ask me. You see, even if I was justifiably making 1 million, it is my good way to determine whether I want to get some people my salary or not. But my salary should not be tied to humanitarian. Especially when I have the authority to adjust my salary so that I can go to other needs of the country where people will not be housing or begging, then I can't justify that. We have to make the salary because the people can beg. Now, look, I don't want to make myself look like Mr. Perfect, but we can do it. It only takes grace and courage. And it takes your support too. That is why certain time I said, I tired talking about that bill because you know la prayer for you. What happened in the Senate today? You are not hearing us on the media because they're not dealing opposing that bill. If Dillon was the one cross the floor today opposing that bill, it would have been the news for 1 month. 2, civil society people watching. Some of them follow the deliberation today. Have you seen one civil society person or group, can you say, in support of that bill? No. Have you seen Citizens United for their own good? Can you say we support that bill? But every day there was citizens demonstrating here for who will be speaker, who will not be speaker. Some will go new speaker, and what did not benefit from? Why the people don't see the thing that sort of benefit them, their own interest, they don't fight for it. He said government fighting corruption. When LSCC invite one public official, you don't see government official carrying placard to LSCC. Against LSCC, the very citizens carry placard. Citizens United in defense of the person LSCC invited to investigate for corruption. You understand? So I'm not going to get tired. I'm going to keep pushing these things. But here, there are some things you can push alone and you get
Okay, everyone, here is my thought on here, right? Let me first of all say to Darius Dillon, thank you for resuscitating the bill. I'm kind of glad it came back. But here's what I'm going to say. We don't want it to say salary. We want it to be maximum compensation. Wherever y'all do, what you call it, committee room, committee that, committee this, signature budget, signature price. It should not. Because I remember here in the community, hello everyone, hello, Mr. Patchable, Mr. P. Ballard, Tony Johnson, my dear baby sister Love, my brother Barker, Joe Barker, and Lasso, my little brother. Okay, so I remember when Jeremiah Kuhn came here, I think it was 2018, 2019. He said to us, his salary was $1,000. And every day he woke up in the morning, he gave away at least $1,000. And I was trying to make sense of that. How do you make $1,000 but you give away $1,000 every day because people come to your office? Okay. So here's where I agree with Darius Dillon. Okay. Your salary should never be tied to your charity work. And in fact, if the lawmakers and the president and the judiciary were doing their job, okay, we will have jobs. I live in the United States. Okay, right now you hear the American people talking. Majority of them will vote. If you see the economy direct how people are going to vote, that's pocketbook issue. That food on the table, that clothes on the back of your children, that health care, that gas in your car, okay, that movement, visitation, vacation, livelihood, money, the economy, job creation, okay. Uh, so the people brought you to do a job that everybody cannot do. They brought you to direct the nation, the society. Hey, sis, okay? They brought you to create job where, yeah, it's been 2 years. We're going to 3 years. Waka is into his third year, okay? Because he was elected or he went in the second round in October. So right now we're saying we're just here for the formality to get through. So literally, he's in his third year. Let's just do that, okay? When I hear people say lower your expectation, or people say it's too early, John Mahama were elected and inducted after Pape Bouaka. He can chronicle, hey, hey, Weki, okay, okay. Mr. Cummings is not talking. All right. All of you who said Mr. Cummings is not talking, write it on here. All right. I'm not going to be here long. So when I finish with this podcast, I will do a podcast in the morning and I will send it to you. So follow me now on this page, on my personal page. What I will appreciate with all of you on here, please share this page, this particular video on your page. And now I want to show you share. Please ask all the people to follow me on this page. My old page got over 700,000 followers. Okay. That page was hacked. So I'm starting, then I did another page. That one was taken down. So in the last, how you call it? This is new. Okay, that's cool. We will make a appearing. You and I will talk. Okay. So now, um, yeah, okay. Because I started late. I don't want to be long because I started late. I have some technical problem. I have to eat. I gotta sleep. I gotta sleep. I gotta make some calls because I just got in from work. We're just returning to work, and we're on the last leg of the semester. So I gotta go read. I gotta get ready for tomorrow. Look, teaching, especially in America, I don't know about Liberia, is the only place you don't do all of the work on your job. So you plan, then you come home. I just got off the phone with a lot of calling parents to remind them to remind their kids, and those who didn't finish the working class, they need to finish it and turn it in. That grades have to be in before we start next week, because next week we're going to be finishing our semester reading and work. And then the week after, we're going to be doing exam all week. And then before we come on break. So while the even if because the books change every other year or every 3 years, I we have to keep her as society, as the world change, or the world as the world turns. So are the days of our lives. And for those of us who are educator, we must keep up with the trend. Okay, we must learn what is happening, especially in history, in science. We must. Okay. Um, math is said there's new discovery. So that's that. And Mr. Wright, I'm right there, or Miss Wright, I'm right there with you. Yes, Mr. Cummings needs to speak up. The last time we talked to him, he said we're going to address the budget issue, and he was going to address some of these things that were coming out. So yes, you need to address that. So I'm with you there. I will talk about it in the morning. I will also send you a note in the morning. I will do my 10 minutes in the morning. So I will do the 10 minutes talking about Mr. Cummings, talking about the other people that people need to hear from him and see where he's taught, especially when it comes to the economy. This is his baby. This is his field. This is what bring the best out of him out. Mr. Cummings get very animated when he's talking about job creation, when he talks about the economy, the pocketbook issue. He get completely, I mean, you see him like, he tend to like, just, he beam up. So let me go back to the topic on the discussion, diverse the line. And I was talking about Jeremiah Kuhn coming here and telling us he made $1,000. So the lawmakers make seven, eight, nine, $10,000. They are on they're on committees. Those committees they get money. They get signing bonus, signing signature bonus. They get money all over the place. Our constitution says that you cannot take a gift that's more than $200. We see that people giving gifts. We shouldn't. We see vice president, president traveling to go negotiate on for equipment, which is not the place. Okay, but that's a topic for a different day. Now here it is. I agreed with Darius Dillon. Okay, but it should be the total compensation, guys. Words matter. Words matter. Okay, the term should be total compensation. And yes, when the CSA were created in the in our constitution, I find it, the legislature was supposed to write code and salary. Okay, like here, if I go look for a job on the government website, it say for maybe a science professor, maybe the code would be 553344, and it would say entry level maybe 55,000, mid level maybe 80,000. Okay, the highest 105, 115. Okay, that's what it would say. You cannot go above that. Okay, you can't. So what I will ask also is, Liberians, young people, here is your opportunity. Call your lawmakers. I will be writing lawmakers from my counties. Yeah, I come from two counties. I come from Montserrado and I come from Nimba. Okay, we have 9 districts. I will be calling on tomorrow. I'm going to be writing and calling on my lawmakers in those districts to sign up on the bill. But I want the bill to say total compensation. Listen, there's a saying that goes, hey, Hartford, there's a saying that goes, if the politics is more lucrative than the industries of the nation, that nation is not going anywhere. That nation is on steroid, or that nation is on a merry-go-round, meaning you're going in circle. So let's use the right choice of word. Total compensation. Listen, Liberia has less than $1 billion budget. Let me tell you what Ghana budget is. Okay, Ghana okay, and I will tell you how much the lawmaker make a year. All right, Ghana GDP. Okay, Ghana GDP is $82 billion. The GDP per capita is $2,400. Now, Liberia got a GDP of 4 billion. They're estimating, I would say 2 billion, or maybe it's even more, because the last I checked, they said Liberia GDP were more than that. But because we suppress it, the people eat it in the back. So if we're saying our GDP is 4 point some more $billion, how these people, all of these people are millionaires? They are. How are lawmakers? How are we paying people $17,000 a month? Okay, the lawmakers. Then we pay them all of these packs. We buy them gas. We buy them calling cars. We buy them, we pay for driver for them. We pay for cook for them. We cook for yabo, somebody to wash their clothes, somebody to tow their water. Hmm? Here it is. We hire these people to solve our problem. How then do you anticipate that they will solve our problem? Guys, listen up. If they don't get to feel in of the problem, you shield them from the problem. They don't have to sit in the traffic. There's no need for them to build a road that circle Montserrado all that reach all of the nation. When they're getting up to go to the 2 days a week work, they leave whenever they want to leave. They put them the siren. You have to move. If you don't move, somebody will stop and slap you or block you and think you're arrogant. Okay. The children go to international schools. They don't go to public school. So they don't care if your children have chair to sit on. They don't care if the environment is conducive. They don't care if the school room that your children are going in have a safety mechanism put in place. It has an exit in case of emergency. No, they don't, because their children are shield. They're supposed to be working for you, but you work for them. They get up in the morning, they knock their feet. Huh? They write the laws that say you can't. So, yes, Darius Delon, thank you. I agree with you. But I need that word in rewriting. I need it written as total compensation. Guys, words are very important. Okay? So let's reason together. I'm about to get off. Darius Delon, thank God for bringing that back. I personally tomorrow will write all of my lawmakers, and I will name them. The one of Montserrat and the one in Imakante. Yes, born in Imba, raised in Montserrat. Got property in both places. So yes, I'm owning both. I am a Monrovia girl, Oro Gaytown, Oro behind the Mandingo graveyard, and Oro surface ice cream. And my birthplace is Nimba. My formative year, Montserrat. So yes. Now, folks, please follow this page for me. And please share if you are here. Please. Okay? Tomorrow morning, about 8:30, I will be on and we will talk about this bill again. I started a conversation with Brian McGill. Have Brian McGill has what's his name? Gregory Coleman brought in the DNA machine to make sure they test the DNA of the 14-year-old. Why is Gregory Coleman not talking about Francine Humane and the girl that accused him of rape? Why there's no investigation going on still? We screamed. We went to the United Nations. We went to the Liberian embassy. We protested. When we had 1,200 rape victims in 90 days. We got over 3,000 rape victims, and I don't hear anything the president is yet to say. I'm going to end with this. We have 5 Liberians burned in a house, and there's no press conference. A building that had been around before I was born, that was neglected, and went through 14 years of civil war, had no electricity, had no running water, okay, could barely keep up the place. The last I checked, the gentleman who painted the building had to fall on a Buffer Chambers car for him to even be halfway compensated. Place packed up, flooded twice, was burned with no life loss. Everybody show up. Former President Children spoke up. President came and accused people and profiled people right away. Vice President show up. Lawmaker show up. For a Liberian woman, her children and her grandchildren burn in an inferno, and we're yet to hear one word. What value do we put on our citizen? That would be my thought to you tonight. I'm not going to stay here for 3 hours and 4 hours to have drama. I'm not. Hey, Alex. Hey, Auntie. Oh, and Maud, how are you? Okay. Now, I'm going to send this out, and right? I will talk about this tomorrow morning. Yes, Mr. Cummings do need to speak out, okay? Especially when it comes to the budget, he needs to speak out because that is the thing. Most of you don't know this. Mr. Cummings changed the feel of Coca-Cola, the way Coca-Cola saw things. Yes, he will talk. All right. From changing, taking Coca-Cola Africa out of England, transferring it to Nigeria as a headquarter, training and developing the human capital within our area to be able to manage themselves, because people say Black people, or especially African, cannot manage. And today, Coca-Cola still stay in that place. Yes. Mr. Cummings were in Eastern and Central Africa. He were able to create the product lines that he created, that created jobs, okay, that had a domino effect. Domino effect is you lay it up against each other, so long one fall, that fall, that fall, that fall, the impact, okay? Where they started having fruit, some of the fruit drinks, some of the chips. Alexander Cummings, that was his product line when he was there. That's the impact it made. And it still makes millions for Coca-Cola, and he all still employed and create jobs in East Africa and put money in farmers' pockets. So he understands what it's like to create jobs. He did that with Pillsbury. When General Mills were buying organizations, hey, Carl, yes, okay. When General Mills were buying breakfast companies and cutting them down, and Pillsbury were literally going out of business, they hired him to fix it. He fixed it. Pillsbury is still here. Now, somebody will say, how do you translate that? Listen, there's something that we said in business. I have an MBA, by the way. Okay. Those of us who study business, private, public, okay, non-for-profit, business, those three segments, okay, they will tell you the three things that they are cardinal, all right? Whether you like it or not, business is transactional, transitional, transformational. So you transact, you transition, then you transform. We saw that here with the Reconstruction of America. First, the transaction was getting what do you call it? FDR elected. Work with the people that he needed to get to get. That's the transaction part. That was the rescue. Okay. Then what did he do? He's transitioned the country into the mode of what he envisioned it would be. In the end, he transformed by bringing in reform, that to say this will be no more. Today in America have Social Security because he thought about it, because during the Great Depression, Americans were living in the streets in cardboard. They were in soup line. He changed that. Social Security retirement, you work, we take a little of you. In fact, during his time, during the time I came here, you buy stocks, the company matches stocks. So when you owe, you don't have to work like that. You don't have to depend on your children, which is the shelter that was built. He made a lot of reform when Obama took over. After the housing bubble busted, all the things, predatory lending, he reformed to make it tighten, make the law more stringent, that people cannot just go, or stringent, that people cannot just go undercut it. So, y'all say electricity is regular. You know, what I've noticed is I've been to a few congressmen office, okay, in Washington, and the, what do you call it? The local lawmaker here, the General Assembly, I've been to a few. I've sat in for lawmaking. I've been to the office of the Lieutenant Governor, the governor, my lawmaker, Denzilla, where Denzilla, Denzilla James, and all of those places I've been. One thing that I noticed about the American lawmaker, when you enter one office, you enter all of the offices. The only difference is the picture and maybe a personal touches, but the furnitures are the same, the layout are the same. That's it. The gentleman from New Jersey, the gentleman from Washington State, the gentleman from here, all of the offices are the same. Hey, Brother Emmanuel, you don't have one person on a furniture come from Italy, the other one come from America, the other one come from South Africa. It is uniform. And our lawmakers, most of them share apartment. They come home every week to the constituent. We don't pay them to come home to us. Every quarter, they have meeting to update us what's on the calendar, what's coming up. Okay, and that's what they do. Now, I'm asking you, if you are in the United States, if you are in Europe, if you are in Australia, if you are in Asia, it does not matter. Southwest, Southeastern, if you are in any part of Africa, not just call, guys, make a post on Facebook so people can see that you're calling, because most of them don't pick up their phone. I am not calling. I'm going to write and put it in the newspaper from my organization, for myself, calling out my lawmakers and all lawmakers in Liberia. We want the world change to compensation. We don't want salary. Because the last time they said they were making $1,000 salary, it ended up to $15,000 and $10,000. Those who build, I even think they should not be making $5,000, because Liberia cannot afford $5,000. Listen, the lawmaker in Ghana make less than $2,500 a month. They do. I'm in Georgia. The budget for Georgia is almost $40 billion. My assembly members do not make $40,000 a year. Majority of the people who go there, they go to make change, to add their voice. Brother Afra, welcome. Carl, welcome. They go to add their voice. Those in Washington, and that's why we're exposing them. They get money. Majority of the people, they raise their money. And that's why we come in Liberia, Liberians. So I'm going to play, I'm going to show something else, and I'm going to call it good night while we ponder over there. Okay, I'm going to let Delon say to you, be fake like him. Okay, but I'm not going to go. I will play this on my show tomorrow also, but now here what I want to do. Okay, here we go. The building that was put up by Emirates for the Liberian people. Okay, I'm going to say this. The growth estimate at this point with Ghana, they're estimating 3.6% yearly. This man, Muhammad Juskin, I just talked to a friend of mine, is a Ghanaian. Okay. In fact, I got a lot of Ghanaian friends. My sister-in-law is half Ghanaian. Okay. This week, the former president of the Ghanaian community just came from Ghana. Okay. And he said to me, when John Mahama said he came to do right, he's working for the Ghanaian people. You saw when John Mahama went to the UN, he chronicled what he did in that 6 months. When he went to Japan, he chronicled, he brought in his expert. The chronicle, he himself went over it. That's why the people are giving, never to give him money. Singapore called him and said, we'll build a university in your country. Brother Alfred, I want to see your post calling the names of your lawmaker. I want to see Liberians calling them around the world, okay? Calling their lawmakers, telling them to put the signature on the bill. But don't just say they should put the signature on the bill. The bill needs to be total compensation. Their compensation should not exceed. That is, if they're in committee room. That is, If they are going to visit their constituent, they should live with their constituent. We should not have to pay them to go see the constituent. I hire you to work for me, for you to come to work or to come and talk to me. I got to pay you. How? When the president travel, they get a president $100,000 on a car to go shopping. You are living in a country that 64% live in abject poverty, that the unemployment is 90%. If you are leading a country that the unemployment is 90%, and you have all the natural resources, you have arable land, you got minerals, you got gold, you got diamond, you got samsonite, you got onyx, you got emerald, okay, you got pearl, you got sea, you got sand, you got timber, you got ebony, you got a rainforest, you got rain in your country, you got vast marine life, you got biodiversity, and you sit at 90% unemployment 20 years after the war. You have failed. Now, I'm going to call it a good night. You're sorry. I was trying to get on, okay? But I want to do this. So again, Ghana, who has 82 billion. Okay, I want to make sure this is not in Ghana City, but it wouldn't be Ghana City. Okay. Yes, 82, that US dollar, 82 billion pays its lawmaker less than 2,500. You got less than 5 billion. You have 90% unemployment, but you pay yourself. $10,000+. Then you got committee room. You got signature budget. You got visitation budget to see your own constituent. That is a crime against the state. So DeLong had introduced the bill. The only thing we want that bill to say, total compensation, maximum compensation. They can dice it, they can put it this way. I know there will be a fight, but the people have the power. So we, the people, tonight we say, cut the cost, lift the nation, support lawmaker reduction bill. Please support that. So all of you on here tonight, reach out to somebody, call somebody, and please do. And please do. So I'm gonna call you good night. But let me put this place right here while we're building. Trump is on fire speed. Okay. So look at the building that the Emerald built for us. Okay, and this is what I'm going to end it with. Okay, now let me say this to you. We need somebody that can create job. That what Liberia need right now. Liberia don't need talk. Liberia don't need sweet talker. Liberia don't need rhetorics. Liberia don't need Liberia does not need somebody who people need to say thank you to. Liberia need a person that can build a system, okay, that will grow beyond themselves. Liberia needs somebody who knows how to create jobs, who can give people and give back their dignity. Here we go, right here. This is the Emirates clinic that was built here. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. You remember when that building was going on, all of us on social media were saying to the people, okay, they say the UAE built this. It cost $20 million, 125 beds. I know Joseph Boaka, daughter-in-law and the son, they say they just built hospital clinic in Liberia. They were opening the other day. 125,000. Let me put this up so you can see it. 125,000. I'm sorry, 20 million. The Emirates Hospital. This is it. Look at the yard. You know what it was to cut this grass? A lawnmower, a riding lawnmower, around $2,500. That's somebody's job to cut it every other week. That job that somebody can be hired to. Get the hand wiper to trim. I see people sitting outside. Y'all see that? My people, y'all see that? Y'all see what is this? People's money, because we don't know how to build. We are takers. We're takers. You know, I see tomorrow, I know they said today, Francine Youmane, the president nephew. Francine Youmane, I'm going to start here. This is the hospital. This is what it looks like. Francine Youmane pledged to get $6,000 and I think 100 bags of cement for the Lofakante UP headquarters. But let me say, what's sad. During the corona, the only referral hospital, or the biggest referral hospital in Lofakante, had no medication. The staff had not been paid for 6 months. Francine Youmane did not go to pay. Boaka did not. You know who went there and paid those people? Alexander Cummings paid them to keep them working because Liberia were in danger. It was during corona. Not only did he pay them, he supplied the hospital with the needed medication, safety gear, and oxygen tanks to keep Liberia alive. I know some of you will run around and say, oh, why he open business today? He has the oldest, the first STEM school in Liberia. It didn't say international school. He had a technical school in Breville. Almost all of the university in Liberia. He has endowment funds there. He gave them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Millions in Liberia money. Did you hear? They know how we're leading to the hospital. Wow. How do we choose a location? How do we plan to maintain it? You know what I just said when I started the show? I said the biggest problem we have is we don't plan. We don't think about preservation. We don't think about services, how to preserve after. Most people, they put these numbers down and give us numbers because in the end, what's going to happen is they will get a kickback from the end. That's what it is about. That's it. Let me say to all of you, good night. Yeah, Cindy got to go. No, thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I started late. We're going to be here and then we're going to be on my page. All right. So let me see where my Darius DeLong. I want to play the DeLong tip. Where is the DeLong tip? That way I want to play. Okay. So I'm going to play the DeLong tip and I will leave you with it. Remember, it must be compensation, not salary. The last time we had salary, they said they were making $1,000, but they were making $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000. So $1,000 on the book that their salary. Then they have all the different amenities. Total compensation. Folks, call your lawmaker. Don't just call. Post it. All of them on social media. All of them on social media all day long, every day. Post it. Okay? When you post, let's tag each other in it. Post it, let's tag each other. There we go.
For the contract for 2026, their food is the draft. The legislature and their whole board here are calling one big bowl. The executive call the food, put it in one big bowl. And Senator, our authority here that will bring all the other small board and decide, okay, the other one have plenty, put it on the side. The other one have take this or put it, the one, we the ones supposed to determine what get in each bowl, then we give it back to the executive to go do the distribution. Then after that, then we must have the courage and the authority to say, we put 2 spoons in the other bowl. How
guys, remember the rice bowl theory from Alexander Cummings? Okay, it's spreading. Everybody getting this. And the Big Ten theory from Alexander Cummings, build the 10. Give a stronger pull to hold it up so everybody can be able to fit under there. That is the theory. So I will end this with you. Good night, everyone. There we go. The rice bowl.
has one wish. That's our goal. But if we don't DJ food properly and we don't have the courage to ask why we put 5 spoons in a bowl, only 3 spoons rich, the bowl always go on accountable and understandable. You can't blame the people. So again, when people thought that bill was dead, it's resurrected. Today is all the sentiment and the emotion and the cross debate on the floor. It's coming back next week for determination. You are media people, but you are Liberians too. Each of you here, you have 2 senators and 1 representative. Once you are from a country, you have 2 senators. Once you are from a state, you have 1 representative. So each of you here have